Welcome back to GBGuns Armory, the series where we're talking about videos, well, guns that have already been out for a while. Some of these not even in production anymore, or very limited. I'm giving you more of the thoughts and feels since the main channel videos cover the facts and performance. This is also a chance where you guys can give some thoughts and feels and experiences of your own since it's stuff that's been out for a while. Today, talking about, believe it or not, a favorite of mine that just doesn't get shot much anymore. This is the Zastava, or rather Crvena Zastava CZ999, 3 nines. There's also a model with 2 nines. There's also a model called the Easy 9. I've got all 3 of them. We might cover them. I've done a video on the main channel outlining the differences between them. These grips are aftermarket that a friend in Europe did for me. I even got the grip screw crazy feature. They had a grip screw with a little tiny pin in it, little needle in it, and there was a magazine that had a mark on the follower, and as the rounds were expended and the follower rose to the top, it would push on the back and you'd get a little poke in your hand to let you know you're low on rounds. Kind of a novel idea. But what is this thing? So it's an all-metal DASA, essentially SIG 226 or 229-ish clone that has been produced in Serbia for quite some time, as I mentioned from the 3 different models, and the fact that this one is a Crvena Zastava, which means red flag. That was a previous name of the company or branding that's used. Now it's just Zastava, which just means flag. And some of them are marked made in Serbia. I've got one that was marked made in Yugoslavia, depending on the era. But it's effectively a clone of the SIG, made a little more crudely, but this one's made really nice, and I was just always dead nuts accurate with it. And some of the improvements or changes that were made to it, as you can see, is ambidextrous controls. The slide stop and takedown lever also doubles as the decocker. I'll activate it from this side. If you go down and release, now decocked, or you can use it to lock the slide open or release. And then you've also got magazine release on both sides. Pretty cool feature. That lever combo setup was carried over in the Arex when they started. Now, word has it, or rumor is, that the founders of Arex actually had broken away from Zastava because they were tired of the bureaucracy and all the government red tape and things. Arex is a private company in Slovenia that used to be part of Yugoslavia, where Zastava was the state-run military factory. So that kind of makes sense. This thing is a boat, it's a tank, it's really broad. It's quite familiar, I'm sure, with how large my hands are. I have plenty of gap there. And as a result, my support hand fits in nicely. It also allows my trigger finger to rest just about perfectly on the trigger, which is pretty clean. Now, most of these were brought into the US as used, of course, so I don't know if the trigger is this clean because this gun's just been really well shot, or if it's that nice to begin with, but this pistol was part of me falling in love with Zastava. There was a period of time when I absolutely loved the company and loved their products and appreciated them. Now, years later, of course, this gun is beyond dated for the US market and really doesn't have much chance anymore, especially with the Arex being out. But at the time when I got into this, I came to really appreciate it. I'm just noticing, I don't know if the camera's going to show it, the barrel hood sticks up over the top of the slide. If you guys can see that right there. You also see that little pin there, a loaded chamber indicator that would pop up, visible and tactile. I mean, lots of usable features. Some thought went into this. It was a clone, but you could tell it was also developed with shooters in mind. It's just missing some of the modern production capabilities, and of course it's outdated by American consumer basic Joe Blow on the range standards. We want everything to be optic ready. We want a Picatinny rail. We want interchangeable this and that. And everybody wants their gun to be custom out of the box, which I always thought was funny because, and there are companies who this entire business stands on selling you custom guns and offer just like 5 choices and you buy it. I don't understand what's custom. Custom to me means I made an order and I said, and I'd like this slide to have this, and I want these grips and all that, and then it gets that's custom. That's being made to your order. But anyways, I digress. These things were also super cheap when they were available. That's one of the reasons that I got them and got into them. It was something that I could afford, and really enjoyed shooting it. Holster fitment was tough. It fit some 226 holsters, but not all. So it was kind of a chance and a gamble. And then it's just so stinking fat for a 15 round 9mm. And you've got your standard European type full, medium, you're getting low, you're out round count, which I guess works. But overall, I think it was a pretty good gun. And when Zastava USA started, they had some of these imported, I think, but I don't know if they're coming in anymore. Let me know if you guys have seen them around. But it was a pretty enjoyable gun, and for me, it was a place, an opportunity to learn the benefit of mass in hand, of that a heavy gun shoots softer. It also taught me to appreciate DASA and wanting to have a decocker on pistols. And then something that didn't click with me at the time, but did later as I shot other guns, is learning and discovering just how important hand fitment is. And that it's not always what feels comfortable dry handling a gun that determines how well you're going to shoot it, how well it's going to work your hands functionally. Like, this is not particularly comfortable. It feels like I'm holding a rounded off furring strip / 2x4 somewhere in between there. It's a big chunk in the hand. But, and this is something that I've learned really in shooting with Miss Tia, because she's discovered it on guns that I thought fit me great, but then also fit her great, even though we have very different hand sizes. And that is, when you've got enough real estate here for your support hand to really fit in there, it lets you really hold on to the gun without having to apply much finger pressure. It just works. That, and it was a neat part of culture and history for me. Part of what I did for the government involved studying a little bit of this region, and so it was neat to have the arms from there. But this is a big old heavy boat anchor gun. I'm not sure I'd want to carry it, not with today's other options out there, but for a pseudo-independent, I guess it's going to be touchy when trying to classify countries, but for where Yugoslavia was coming from, pretty nice gun. Pretty well done. And these grips, I wish I could remember who made them for me. Came out beautiful. It just really added some class to the gun. In other videos, I'll cover the other models of them. Anyways, so that's the Crvena Zastava 999, or 999. This is actually a compact. Sorry, there was also a full size. For GBGuns Armory. Thanks for watching, and we'll see what stories come up tomorrow.